What's happening? Welcome back. Today, the work that broke a generation. I ask you a question. Look, have you ever, like in your 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I'm not, however, how you've been living, have you ever wondered, man, why am I so tired? Man, why is it I can't travel more? Why is it I can't have what I want? Or why is it I can't just do all the things that I want to do when I want to do it? In today's video, we're going to answer that question because if you're anything like me, you may have chose something at some point in your life that you didn't know of. Like you didn't know that this is what you were choosing. But this thing that we chose, it literally broke a whole generation. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how it's broke a generation and then how we can fix a generation. All right, let's jump right in. So what in the heck is Jay talking about? All right, this has everything to do with those 4 P's that I've been talking about, that I started to talk about maybe a few days ago, which is the picture, the power. Today is the plan. Today is the plan. Now, what is all this about? This is the picture goes with your vision. The power goes with your purpose, and the plan goes with your mission. So, what is mission? You know, I used to mission and purpose, are they the same thing? No, absolutely not. When you go and look up these definitions, what you will find is totally different verbiage in different language. A purpose speaks to the reason something is. You should write that down. A purpose speaks to a reason something is. So I got to have a reason to do something. So I've got to have a reason to go and work. This is why we're talking about the work that broke a generation. And if I don't have the correct reason, then that's going to affect the work that I do. Oh, check this out. What if a reason is I got to provide for my family? What if that's the main thing? Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. As men, as a man, I'm going to say as men, but as a man, I am hardwired to provide for my family. I'm hardwired to do that. So, yes, I'm going to be moving towards that. Now, here's the thing. There's a generation right now that did that. They did that. But here's the thing. Did they do it well? Did they do it so that the generation that they were supporting didn't get broke? No, they didn't. But they didn't know. So we're not holding them hostage to that. So if I don't have the right reason behind what I'm going to do, and that's what a plan is. A plan is what I'm going to do, right? The reason starts the doing. Here's the thing. You know what most people do? Most people start doing the do. Most people start doing the do. What is do really? Do? What is do? Oh, what is do? Do. Do is do. And you remember what that was growing up. Oh, I got to go take a do. Yeah. So if people are doing the do, then it's possible that do could be wrong because the reason is off, the picture is off. I'm just going to provide for my family. And here's the thing: you have some people that may have done it very well, but here's the thing: I can guarantee you there was a deep seated reason. If someone became millionaire, if someone becomes a billionaire, their reasons for doing things was deep. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this assignment. Let's talk about this mission thing. And the mission is an assignment. And an assignment means that there's work involved. Now, what is the assignment of every human being on this planet? Everybody has has the same but different. So there's a basic and then there's a detailed. So everybody's assignment on this planet is to, I'm going to say everybody, the folks. Look, if you stand on the side of God, then our assignment is to bring heaven to earth, to expand the heaven on the earth by managing what God has given us. So my initial assignment is that bring heaven earth, become the person that God's created me to be, and allow myself to manage this assignment that God has given me. And then that's when it gets detailed. That's when the assignment, right? That's when the assignment starts to get where where it's like, okay, well, Jay's an accountant. At least that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Well, I get to use that. I get to use that platform. So here's the thing. In the work that broke a generation, what we did was we went to college, we went to school, and we thought that merely going to school was the thing to do. And so many of us went that direction. There's a generation of people that got broke in that. Now it's breaking apart. Now what's happening is the whole system is starting to break down because people are starting to see that, wait a second, that's not working. It doesn't work with today's environment. And yet they're still pushing the same agenda. Why is that? I don't know. So it is our job to stay on the assignment or figure out what is the assignment that God's given me. Now, here's a proverb that I love to live by because this will help us to understand how important our assignments are. Because Proverbs chapter 12. I have to find it in a second. But it says, those who work their land will have abundant food, and um, those who chase fantasies have no sense. So we all are given a land when it comes to our assignments. We all given a land, like we're all given a piece of something. Everyone is different. Whether I'm in the same field as you, then that means that great. You're in this, like I can work with people in the same field, but we're not the same. I'm the healthy accountant. And I don't think anybody can do that like me. No one can do that like me because I'm that. That's who I am. So we have to take our assignments and look at them and say, okay, if I've been given, all these things, because this is what we got to like list them out. Take an inventory of ourselves, take an inventory of our experiences, take an inventory of all of the things that we've been exposed to. I remember some months ago, I took an inventory. It's long. It's a long list. It's a long list. It's crazy because if if you don't watch yourself, if I don't watch myself and I go and look at other successful people, I'm gonna say, man, I can't do it like them. Like I have a mentor that I look at and I was like, well, I could never do him like him ever. Why would I? And that's the part. Like I can learn from him, but I can never be him as much as I could try. So it's like, whew, boy, I don't have to worry about that. So the language that I speak is going to be different than even people that I look up to. Like I'm not going to speak the same language now. I can take on I can take on some of their ideas, their thoughts, because they're thought leaders. And that's what thought leaders do. We listen to other thought leaders. We listen and we take notes and then we apply to our own personal experiences. So in the work that broke the generation that I was in, guys, it was merely going to school. It was merely taking care of our families and not looking at the biggest picture possible. Think about the big picture. You've heard that before. We got to look at the big picture. Well, think about the biggest picture possible, not the smallest picture possible. A lot of times we go look in the mirror and I'll see little J. Little J from Newark, New Jersey, grew up, lived about 7, 8 years on 77 Orton Street in Newark, and then, lived another well, how many years was that? 12, 11 years, at 122 South 7th Street in Newark, New Jersey. And if I go and look at that guy, if I'm paying attention to that little guy, then I'll have a little picture of little J. Now, you don't know this. Now, Big J stands 6'3", 6'3" and a half, right? With my shoes on, probably stands 6'4". So that's Big J. Then there's the little J. The little J was the guy who grew up for about 14, 15 years that I was little. So you think about this. I went from little J, you know, to then all of a sudden, by the time I was 8, by the time I was 19, 20, now I'm 6'3". But I was little J all the way to about 15. And then all of a sudden you get tall. Now, in some cases, oh, you can become big J. If I was really big, I'm not, I'm slim in nature, so I don't have a big stature, but I'm just tall. But imagine if you get stuck. This happens to us. We get stuck in a period of our life. And if I was talking to a therapist, they would want to go back into my childhood and figure out, well, what was happening to little J? What experience did little J have? And, is little J still living in the present? I would have to say that little J had been hanging around. See, this is where you have to audit your life and ask yourself, is the little me, is the young me still hanging out in the version that I am today? Do you think a 12-year-old should be managing a 52-year-old life? Do you think that would be idiotic? So just being able to see something like that and then saying that's the little picture. Where's my big picture at? Where's my big picture? I'm going to give you the big picture. The first picture I'm going to give you, I've talked about this in this podcast and maybe even this week. I'm going to give you the big picture. I want you to close your eyes so I can give you the big picture. Here's the big picture. I want you to picture yourself, right? You're going to picture yourself. You're going to picture yourself right now, no matter how you look. Picture yourself. We're not going to change anything about you today. Nothing. Even though you may want to change something, not going to change anything. What I want you to do is I want you to picture your head now. Your head is not the biggest. It sits proportionately on top of your whole body, but your head is not the biggest thing. So picture your head to your toe, but now fixate on your head. Look at your head. Now what I want you to do is on top of your head, I want you to envision that you have a head that is 100 times bigger than the head that you have. So I want you to picture that. Can you see it? 100 times bigger than the head that you have. Maybe you ask this question with Jay, why am I looking at that? Why? Because I want you, imagine if you believed that if I could use my brain, if I can use all of my brain, because this is what people do. If I can just use all of my brain, because they say you only use a certain percentage of your brain, but what if you can use all of it? And it was 100 times bigger. How do you feel? Open your eyes. Now, I want you to consider that as, wait a second, I have a head that's 100 times bigger than the head that I have with a capacity that's more. This is where you draw your picture and you say, oh, wow, okay, that's the big picture. Even though I got all these things that I want, now you can take all the stuff you want to do, all the things that you can envision and say, wow, I still have room for plenty more. And when it gets filled up, the head can get bigger. That's the big picture. Now we're going to come over to this assignment. So now in the assignment, this is what I have to do. But here's the thing. I have to have the big picture first. I have to have really good reasons. I got to go through a 7-level process to make sure that I have the wherewithal to stay focused on this new assignment, because this is a new assignment. Because now this assignment is really learning exactly what I should be focused on, learning how this assignment is going to take me somewhere. Tomorrow we're going to talk about where we're going, destiny. And here's this assignment, and you say, wow. When I was talking to God several years ago, after I met Dr. Miles Monroe, we got a couple more minutes, so don't leave. I just met Dr. Miles Heard that he had passed away. I was distraught. I was reading all of his books. I got like 30 of his books and listened to all of his programs. Says, Lord, can you help me to write as many books or more books than Dr. Miles? I was like, he's like, you sure? He's like, you dream like I can do that. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's a different assignment. That's a different type of assignment. You have to see little J. I got to be honest here, guys. This is where little J has been in the way. Little J has been in the way of that assignment. See, the little you wants to stay little. The little you likes the picture of themselves. Even though the little J can see the 6'3", 6'3.5" version of him, it's like, that's cool. But I just kind of like being over here. It feels better. It feels better not to have to be seen as much. And, it feels better that no one really knows where I am. That's little J. But if big J is going to step in, then not even if. Now that Big J is stepping in. Big J is like, what is going on? Why do not more people know about what we're doing? We got things to do. We got things written already. What? Like, little J, get the heck out of here. Get out. Go back. Because listen, you have served well. See, the little you wants you to stay little. That's why it's important to understand that if we don't up level the work that we're doing, it tends to break you. It tends to put you in a state of, I need to retire from this work. There's no way I can keep doing this because this is, And here's the thing. If a person needs to transition from little job to the bigger job, then that's what you need to do. But there's no person on this planet that needs to be sitting around. And that's what they've sold many of us. And that broke a generation. How do I know? Not because I can see it for myself. I can see it in my family. I can see it in my father. My father has been, I don't want to say that. My father's having to deal with that now at 82. He did what they told him to do as best as he could do it. He thought that the R word was what he should be doing. And it didn't work. So, all right. This work did break a generation, but I'm here to tell you that no matter where you are, you can take on your assignment today. So today, your job is go look at the big picture. I just shared with you that big picture sequence, seeing yourself the way that you are, but then seeing yourself with a head that's 100 times bigger so that you can get your picture in there. Right? Creating reasons, knowing reasons that will literally help you fight through all of the situations and problems and circumstances that potentially will come your way. And then moving into a state of, okay, now that I have a reason, let me get focused on my assignment. And in my assignment, it's connected to everything that you've ever done. It's connected to, the natural gift that you have. It's connected to the experiences that you have. It's connected to your education. It's connected to your family. Like, it's connected to everything. And so it's to realize that if I want to have, let's just leave it there. If I want to have, because everybody wants to have more, then I've got to work what I have. So in Proverbs chapter 12 and 11, it says, those who work their land will have abundant food. We can just say those who work, right? Those who work their assignment will have an abundance. But those who don't work their assignments will not have an abundance. What's your choice? Are you going to allow the work that you've been doing, or are you going to allow the systems that's controlling work break you in this generation? Or are you going to say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to create the big picture. I'm going to have reasons that will trump any problem that shows up. And I'm going to seek out my assignment so that I can do what it is that I must do, because that is my work. God has given me an assignment. And if I don't fulfill the assignment, then my life is a failure. That's what success is. Fulfilling the purpose and the reason for your life. So your job today is to discover the assignment, discover what that is. Because right now there's a generation that's been broke, but it's our job, now that we know, to help a generation to be mended back together, because we've taken on our assignments and done the thing that God has given us to do. So guys, I thank you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.